Hello everybody, welcome to another episode of Art Whisper 88. Now on your screen you will see this jumbled mess of black tissue paper. And I thought to myself, maybe I can make something out of this pile and do a first layer. So I have here, previously I had made marks on it with white paint. And as you can see, they're like circular gestural strokes. They're part of a warm-up exercise. And I find them very useful to kind of loosen up and get those creative juices flowing. So anyway, I have here a sheet of Stonehenge 22 by 30. And on top of that, I put on my bib, which is a protective template. It protects the outer edges of the paper, and at the same time it defines the area that gets printed on with the gel plate, which is underneath right here. And so this is exactly 16" by 20". So I will do a layer of collage with black tissue, and then as a second step I will print on top of that. So I'll get on with the show. Let me start with these larger pieces. Now the advantage of doing this as a first layer is what you see is what you get. I don't have to think about going into the reverse. Usually when I place images on the gel plate, they have to be done backwards in order to print right side up. So you'll see in a moment. So my plan is to assemble these shapes. I'll first cut them down into manageable sizes. So rather than have them as squares, I will do roughly these circular shapes. Okay, so now I'm using, it says here matte, but this is actually satin because I had put some satin finish and mixed them together. And I mixed it with some water so it's easy to spread. Making sure that they're nice and flat, so when I print over them there won't be an issue. Okay, so that's it for the main, I call these the main characters of this story. Now I will, just for texture, do some very, very fine lines. They give a sense of movement. And I think it makes it more interesting. Now these lines may or may not show when I do the second layer, but that's okay. All right. So I will air dry this first and then proceed on to the next step. Okay, everybody, this has dried nicely. I'm glad that once it dries, the paper tends to lay more flat. The buckles disappear. So we'll take the bib off. And here's the first layer. So what I'm going to do now is prepare the gel plate. And I have looked at the indications here. This says that it's translucent. So I'm going to use colors that are not totally opaque. So I will start with this titanium. Some Indian yellow. So I am mixing brands here. Yeah, I'm not afraid to use my fingers, because that's what being an artist is all about, getting your hands dirty. Let's see. I have a little bit of gold here. I have some metallic shine. And let me see. Let me try some silver. I'm not sure how opaque or how transparent this is going to be, but I'm going to give it a shot. And here is some pearl blue. It says pearl blue, but it looks white to me. So again, instead of using a brayer, I will use a card just to create some textures. Just do a little cleanup here. I just want to make sure that the edges are nice and clean, otherwise they would make a mess. again, I'm going to use one of my favorite tools is a silicone brush, just to create some sweeping lines. And more lines. Okay. So here is the first layer with the black graphic elements. And this is an example of the importance of having registration, where you make sure that all the layers you do fall on the same place. In other words, everything lines up. And that is only possible if you do meticulous measurements. You measure your paper, you measure your plate, and then you decide where the plate should fall on the paper, and you make sure that it happens each and every time. So that's one less thing you have to worry about when you're printing. Now I'm applying a very firm pressure with my hand because I want all the textures, all the little marks, I all want them to transfer on top of the collage. Okay, so I'm going to leave this for about 5 minutes. Okay, this is exciting. Let me see how we did here. I'm glad the collage did not peel off. Okay. Check this out. The collage actually serves as a backdrop for the textures. It's very organic, kind of makes me think of minerals, or like when you look at rocks up close. Okay, again, I will air dry this and then decide the next step. Okay, I'm back. I am revisiting my reusable stencils, which I haven't used in a while. And as you can see, I haven't been terribly good at washing them. But sometimes these residue leave some interesting marks. Now, I'm not counting on that, but I'll see what happens. So I will apply another layer of paint. Let's see, I will be using pearl blue. And there's a little bit of phthalo turquoise. Now this is opaque, but I'm hoping that it will mix with the pearl blue and create a very lovely sky blue. Now this is just to contrast with the yellow gold colors. And I will introduce a little bit of this Venetian rose. See what happens. Now I will try to spread this out with my basting brush. Just to flatten things out first. Oops, it's moving too fast. Sometimes I get overexcited and I move too fast. So I have to catch myself. Okay. So here's the piece with the yellow layer. Let's see what happens when I put this third layer. Okay, I will leave this for 5 minutes, give me a chance to wash out these stencils. Okay, let's see what we have here. Very interesting contrast. Almost like a textile. So again, I will air dry this and then decide what comes next. Okay, I'm back. I thought I would introduce these shapes here. This is again my black tissue paper, which I have had cut into a donut shape. And I like to put that there. So let me mount that. Now, mounting an open piece is tricky. It's very easy to tear. Okay. No, this tissue paper is semi-transparent, so it still shows the surface underneath. Again, I will let this air dry. Okay, now as a final chapter to this, I want to put some white marks. Here's a close-up. I hope you liked this video. Please share this with your friends. And if you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button. And please check out artwhisper88.com, where these pieces are available for sale. And the proceeds help to keep this channel going. Thank you so much for watching and subscribing. And I hope to see you next time.